Hey guys, happy Thursday. It's kind of just a leisurely Thursday today, so I figured I would maybe give you guys a little HVAC residential sales advice here, how I go about it, and how I gain my customers' trust and get the sale. And it really none of it's scripted. I mean, I don't have it. I didn't write down any notes for this video. This is all off the cuff, so just things that I think about when I'm at a customer's home, and like I said, ways I gain their trust, ways to get the sale, and none of it's any of that stupid sales speak. And if you guys watch some of my other videos and some of my shorts, you know that I am totally against any of that keyword crap, any of those phrases to get people to buy from you. Any of the deceptive things that are done in our industry, unfortunately. And it starts with all of us to make our customers aware of what's going on, and with some of the shady stuff that goes on in this trade, as far as the sales process and service for that matter. So what's the first thing I do? So to give you some tips before you even go into the customer's home, okay? Always give them a call, a courtesy call, at least an hour before. Let them know you're on your way. Maybe something happened and they can't be there. You're saving both of your butts by doing that. So if they don't answer the phone, leave them a message. If they're a texter, texting them, letting them know you're on their way. If you don't get a response from that text, it's a good idea to hold off and wait till you can actually get a hold of the customer, because if you can't get a hold of them an hour before your sales call or your comfort specialist call, whatever you want to call it, then there's a pretty good chance that they won't be there. Now, they might be in the shower, or they might be doing something where they can't, but most of the time you should be able to get some response. And if you have office staff, they can take care of all that qualifying stuff. But I do everything myself, so I have to do that. So always make sure the customer's going to be there. You'll save both of you some time. And if they're not nice enough to let you know that they're not going to be there, that's not the type of customer you want anyway. So I think that's been said ad nauseum on most of the HVAC channels. So once you get to their house, never, ever, ever, ever park in their driveway. It's rude, it's intrusive, it's presumptive. Always park curbside to their house, preferably not in front of their mailbox. But always make sure that you are respecting their property, and park on the curb. Do not park. And also, if you're on time, you're late. I give hour windows. A lot of the bigger companies give 2-hour windows. In my area, an hour windows, good enough. Don't show up that last 10 minutes of the hour or the last 10 minutes of that 2 hours. If you tell somebody you're going to be there between 1 and 3, 2 o'clock's a pretty good general area where you want to be in. Always under promise and over deliver when it comes to that. So when you show up, don't show up at 2:55 if you told them 1 to 3. And if you are going to show up at that time, make sure that you call and let them know, or text and let them know, however you guys are communicating. So it's always a smart thing to do. Once you get to their front door, shake their hand if they're well, no, don't shake their hand. I don't always shake their hand. It's a case by case with that, because some people don't like human contact. You might get your germs, get sick. Fist bump's good, or some people are just standoffish. Just introduce yourself and get your butt in there, and just pretend. What I like to do is pretend it's a friend of mine that I already know. And I think that's an old cliche, but it works very well. Hey, Mr. Johnson, how's it going, man? Let's go see what you got here. Show me why I'm here. And always, if you're not somebody that wears booties, I don't wear booties because they just tear on my boots. I always wear Romeos, the slip-on boots. So always, always, always. I don't care if the place is a pigsty. Take your shoes off. If you feel like you need to put booties on after you take your shoes off because you're worried about your feet because the place is a pigsty, then put the booties on over your socks or something. Protect yourself. After that, basically it's just a matter of, having the customer show you their equipment. Ask them what they're looking for. Ask them, are there any issues that you've noticed? Do you have high electric bills? Do you have hot and cold spots in the home? Are you just not happy with the overall system? If you're happy with what you got, I'm not going to sell you a bunch of bells and whistles. I'm a very keep it simple, stupid kind of guy, and I just say, hey, I'm going to give you a budget option that'll match what you have right now. As cheap as I can get you, okay? The lowest price I can give you, I will, because I'm here to give you the best product for your dollar. So I always tell them, I'm going to give you the cheapest. It's the good, better, best thing. You guys all know that. Cheapest. I'm going to give you something that's kind of in the middle somewhere. If your equipment fits that mold. Sometimes I only give them two options because there's a budget and then there's my good system. So, but always try to do a good, better, best. At the least, give them a budget option and your main option. That you would put in your own home, which is what I like to do for people. I try to pretend it's my home. What would I do? Think outside the box. Be that guy that brings your coveralls with you, and is going to throw those coveralls on. You're going to go check all their duct work in the crawl space. Make sure that it's not under insulated, it's not broken, it's not it's not a bunch of chewed up flex, insulation gone on it, whatever. So it's always good to go that extra mile and do that, because a lot of salesmen don't own coveralls and won't go in there. They're box sellers basically. So set yourself apart. Ask them if they're interested in zoning for their home, if their home's worthy of that, if it feels like it's needed. Maybe need to add a return area in the master bedroom for the parents, for mom and dad, because they like to sleep with the door closed, and maybe at nighttime it just feels stuffy and they're not getting enough air circulation. So that's always something to look at too. Little add-ons like that. And you're not trying to sell them something that they don't need. You're selling them something that is beneficial to them. I don't talk too much about indoor air quality. I pretty much just put the basic 4-inch filters on, or the Honeywells, or the 5-inch filters on. I'm not really big into electronic air cleaners and UV lights and all that stuff. But I will ask the customer if there's any, if they have any allergies, or there's certain things they want to achieve with indoor air quality, if they're just not happy with how dusty the house is, or maybe their kid has asthma or something. So that's something to talk about. You can also talk to indoor air quality. You can also talk to them about humidity levels. Do they have dry noses in the house? They feel like their skin's itchy all the time. You can talk them into don't ever talk anybody into anything. You can talk to them about humidifying options, or if they live in a high humidity area, how to increase humidity removal, which isn't anything I need to worry about here in this dry desert I live in. So once you get to the point where you got some options for them, I don't ever do the high pressure thing where I want them to sit down right then and there and go over a contract with me. I don't do that. Back in the day when I was doing sales for the first company I did sales for, probably 20 plus years ago, they wanted me, I had a little portable printer and a computer. They wanted me to print out a proposal right there and try to get them to close there. A lot of people don't like that. They're not ready to make their decision that quick. So I don't even do it. I think it's a waste of time. Get their email, give them your card, email them a proposal, and then sit on it for a day, maybe 48 hours. If they haven't mentioned that their timeline's any different, if they're looking to do something now. If you haven't heard anything, follow-up call with them is always good, and just ask them, hey, have you had a chance to look over my proposal? How does everything look? Is there anything I can change for you? I'm not the type of person that'll change the cost, but maybe I can give them a little more value in that cost. So there's always things you can do. Nobody likes to miss out on a sale, but if you're doing things right, you're going to get probably, I would say, 2 out of 5. So So you're going to get 40%. I think if you're getting more than 40%, you're either your price is too low, or you're catering to the wrong people. You're catering to the cheap guys. So think about that. Pay attention to how many you're closing. I close about 50 to 60% of the ones I go out on, but that's because most of my stuff's referral, and a lot of them are just people that already know me through social media and the neighborhood. So mine's going to be a little higher. In the big city, I can understand it's going to be less. So that's how you want to follow up after. Don't harass them. If they're a texter, you can text them and say, hey, what's going on? I'd love to gain your business. I'm going to be around for a long time, and I'm happy to help you out with your HVAC system. So just wanted to show you guys some of the things I do on my sales. I think it's all common sense stuff. I'm not going to do any of the phrases that close customers. Everyone's different. I don't have anything I say that's the same. It's all based on the individual and who I'm speaking to, and I think it shows. Most people, when they talk to me for about half an hour or so, or walking through their house, they're like, "Man, you're not like the rest of these guys. You're pretty trustworthy, man. I feel I can trust you." And that's what you want to do. And they can trust me. I'm not trying to break anybody's wallet. I'm not trying to sell them something they don't need. I'm not trying to upsell them anything. And I think that's a big problem with a lot of these big HVAC companies, that they're trying to upsell, sell a bunch of bells and whistles and crap that people don't need. And I'm not about that. Keep it simple. Give them an honest presentation. Give them reliable equipment, and give them a good warranty, and that includes your labor warranty too. I always give a minimum 2 years. You can give more if you want. If you feel comfortable with a piece of equipment, I'm happy to do that. But after a couple years, you want these people to pay you for your time. So anyway, I just wanted to go through that with you real quick. We're drawn out here about 12 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and get off. But if you guys have any comments on how I do my sales or how you do your sales, I'd love to hear it.